Welcome to Sensibly Cynical. My name is Sean, and today I have a jam-packed episode. First, I will be talking with my buddy Peter. He was previously on the podcast talking about how he used to work for the government and helped with the migration to Microsoft 10 and things like that. I'm excited to talk to him today. We're going to talk basketball, MMA, and a host of other sports. So I am very excited to talk to him. And also, I will be talking with Innes from the FYFC Studios. This guy's awesome. We both like rock music, and I'm so excited to talk with him. I haven't had the chance to do a one-on-one interview with someone who enjoys rock music as much as I do. So it should be interesting. And I am very excited. So I hope you enjoy these interviews. Peter is up first. And joining me now, making his second appearance on the show, my boy Peter. What's going on, bro?
What's happening, man? How's it going?
Yeah, you remember being on here before?
Of course.
But Frank's not here. It's just me running the show, bro.
But how long you been running by yourself?
Since June. Our last podcast together was with Sugar, the former survivor, castaway.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that was going to be last. I think we had two different directions, you know? And
yeah, what have you learned since, what's been the difference doing it by yourself as opposed to doing it with someone?
Bro, it's way harder because you have to keep interest. You can't just rely on another person. So you have to have guests, way more guests, and your title has to be catching. Like, it has to be like, they have to see the title more. Like, if they see, like, I did a podcast on, I don't know if you've seen what I've done lately, but I did a podcast on Grand Theft Auto, the video game series.
Yeah.
And that got a lot of people because it was eye-catching. It was like, it's about GTA. Yeah, and I had a guy, and I had a guest for that. Like a video game podcast.
Wait, the guest? Who was the guest again?
It was his name was Stoy from FYFC. It's a video game podcast. All they do is talk video games.
Okay.
And he came on and we talked about it, and that did pretty well. So it's all about guests now, like way more guests. And if I gotta do it by myself, then I gotta be more mindful of like what I talk about.
Yeah, do you have what are your tricks? Not tricks, but like, do you have tools that help you like decide how you're gonna go about doing it, whether it's guests and how you're gonna name the podcast?
Been probably a day thinking about what I'm gonna do. Like it's not like I have like a blackboard or whiteboard or whatever you want to call it, whiteboard, and I have sticky notes and stuff. No, man, it's just off the cuff, bro. It's not totally off the cuff. Like I have some sort of idea, but it's not. I don't plan like a month in advance,
Right.
Like the last like if I do a podcast by myself, it has to be something that's interesting. Like I did the backstory of how this started. The title has to be catching. It can't just be something lame. Last time you were on the show, we were talking about you were working for the government. Are you still doing that?
Nah, I'm actually working for an engineering firm called Jacob.
Oh, okay. So what do you do for them now?
Oh, just the same computer bullshit, boring.
Well, you're in.
Boring to people.
Well, boring for some people.
Yeah, there we go. No, man. Everything's cool, man. I'm really trying to. I'm thinking about, trying to be like you and get a podcast.
Yeah, I thought your boy or your brother Paul. I thought you guys were gonna do a podcast together.
We are eventually, man. Like, sometimes it's what do you call it? Paralysis by analysis. Like we keep trying to figure out, started.
You can
how to do it rather than kind of jumping right in.
Yeah, you can. You got any names or what kind of angle are you gonna take? Are you gonna do like basketball or what kind of podcast are you?
Nah, so it's not gonna be anything like sports related. It's gonna kind of just be like I don't even know how to describe it. It's gonna be kind of up and down certain things.
What's
things that are cool, whatever.
Yeah, what's he do? What's he doing?
Oh, same type of thing.
Is he still in Hawaii?
Yeah, he's going back and forth. So yeah, he been white.
What's your take on the UFC fight with who was it that won? Was it John Bones Jones? What do you think about his fight?
Oh, I didn't see that. I thought you can talk about the Wilder fight.
Well, we can talk about that. We can talk about Wilder. What you think about that fight?
I was disappointed because I knew something was up with Wilder, just the way he was fighting early in the fight. Like, once he get tired at the end. So I was disappointed about that. I think it was an issue, but I was also kind of disappointed in him saying that it was the fucking costume he wore or whatever. I wish he just kept that to himself, because even if it was, that just sounded kind of bad. You know, you lose a fight and then you're like, well, I lost because...
Yeah, throwing the white flag. Yeah, throwing the flag in.
No. Like, I'm okay with that. But I'm saying that's when you come back and just say, you know, he got me, but I'm coming back.
Yeah. Well, Tyson Fury, I know he was talking like he was going to retire. I'm like, that dude's not going to retire. He's not going to turn down the contracts and the money, you know?
Right.
But he was talking about how he's going to retire. I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going to retire, bro. No chance in hell, man. Did you watch the dunk contest?
Yeah, I watched it.
That was some bullshit, bro. Like, he was dunking over Taco Fall and shit. Like...
No, I don't have any issues with that, because...
What do you think he used them to elevate? Like, he pushed off?
Yeah, like, and not to that, those dunks are corny, man. I don't care for the fucking... Somebody hold the basketball, jump over his head.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck does he... And Dwayne... And people were skeptical on Dwayne Wade letting his former teammate win. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was just... You know, I hated that. People were, like, trolling him on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
People were, like, trolling the fuck out of Dwayne Wade, bro. That shit was funny.
I didn't have any issues with it. What I will say, though, was that I think that it's getting dry, man, the dunk contest. Like, I don't think... Some of the... I don't know if the guy is... You know, I don't know. I can't dunk, so it's hard for me to say, but I feel like, man, they could do more and get a little more creative, man. The dunk just seems kind of boring and played out. Come on, guys. Like, I don't like somebody stands and holds the ball while he jumps up.
What do you want him to do? Like a 360 between the legs, you know, windmill?
The guy who won Dick Jones, he did a dunk that I thought was pretty cool. I can't remember it right now. I was like, okay.
Well, I'm biased, though, Peter. I'm a Magic fan. Like I said, I'm biased. Toward my boy AG.
I didn't care for, like, I don't care for those dunks.
What'd you think of the new All-Star Game format? Did you actually watch the game?
I thought that was cool. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I like the way that it came down to at the end. I like the way they, you know, take the clock out of it a little bit. I think that's a nice little twist. Yeah, I liked it. What do you think?
It was cool. I like how they had like a target score at the end where they had to get like 150 whatever, 57 or whatever it is, and they reset the score every quarter.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
And then they've been doing that for a while, but then they get charities involved. I like that. It seems like LeBron's been the captain every year though.
Yeah, I think it added that little wrinkle. I think it seemed like the guys, they made them play a little harder, right?
Yeah, because it was the incentive. They had a big time incentive, money for their choice, you know. And I like the way they do the new process now. It's not like the starting isn't 100% fan vote. They got the coach, you know. It's like 50% fans, 50% coaches, I think.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it never really bothered me how they got the All-Stars. I do think it's kind of crazy Bradley Beal didn't make it, though.
Well, it used to be where guys like Yao Ming were getting in every year, you know.
Yeah, because Bradley Beal's average is like 29.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. That pissed me off.
But then again, like I was saying, he should have made it over for Trae Young.
Yeah, my issue with that, Peter, is that's what the MVP is for, records of teams. All-Star, the key word there is star. It should be individual accolades. Yeah. Your record shouldn't matter.
That's true.
But when people try to make that matter, it's like, no, that's the MVP and stuff like that. Like, All-Star is for individual talent.
Hey, I don't know. But the thing is, I don't feel bad for Bradley Beal. He's going to be, I think next year or the year after, he's going to be eligible to sign most lucrative deal in NBA history.
Really?
Yep. Salary cap goes up, and if you stay with the same team you were drafted to, unless they trade you, if you don't leave in free agency, that team can offer you like more money than different teams, and he's gonna be eligible for that. So,
Yeah.
I think Damian Lillard got the same deal last year. What do you think about the Jalen Ramsey trade? Was he that big of what happened?
Yo, So what happened was there was the former owner Tom Coughlin. He and Jalen got into it because Tom Coughlin got mad at him for not having camp 100% of the missing volunteer workouts. And he got mad at Jalen Ramsey's camp because Jalen Ramsey was working out with his dad in Tennessee. I'm like, he's working out with his dad. Like, and Tom Coughlin is one of those old school guys that believe that everyone should be there for every part of the camp. Like, he doesn't believe in that voluntary crap.
Yeah.
So that's what happened was Ramsey got,
Oh, I remember that. He said, yeah, I remember.
And then he didn't like that Ramsey came out of the money truck for camp. So it was just a bunch of stuff. Like, they just got into it, and then Marone, the coach, and Ramsey got into it, and it just accumulated. Like, and then Ramsey was hoping for an extension, but like, I don't agree with him on that because there's 2 years left on your deal. Like, only like not many people get extensions with 2 years left. You know what I mean?
I think that's tricky. Yeah, I think that's tricky though, man. Because like in sports, like it's not like us where if we don't like something about a job, you just go get another job either. So I think it's okay when a guy's like, yo, I played my contract. I mean, we need to talk. I'm not mad at that, man. Because imagine you have a job, right?
Yeah.
You have a job, and you agree for this because you're just getting started, but then they realize you're like a fucking genius and instead of paying you like your entry level, like, would you be okay with that? Or you would probably leave if somebody...
No, I would dip, man.
Like, that's what I mean. I get it. Don't get me wrong. You got an agreement.
Well, yeah, and the problem is we made so many stupid decisions that the defense is, well, we don't have the money. It's like, yeah, because you suck and you have a dumbass GM. Like, is it Jalen Ramsey's fault that you've missed, that you haven't spent wisely?
Right.
Like, it's not Jalen Ramsey's fault.
That's true.
But at the same time, Jalen Ramsey's a hothead, though.
Yeah, he really is.
So it was just a bad mix. It was like, oil and water. It just didn't work out.
What about Foles? What's going on here?
Oh, Nick Foles? Oh, yeah, we're trying to trade him. And that's another thing. Yeah, $88 million. They put him in for 3 games after he got hurt week 1. And so Gardner Minshew, Gardner Minshew?
Yeah.
They put him in. Yeah. People love him because, he's a good old boy from the South, and the Jacksonville's a southern market, and he has like the personality that they like and the mustache and stuff. So that's what happened. He took over. And then when Foles came back, Foles had like the worst QBR in the league, and then they pulled him. And now they're thinking about trading him after you gave them $88 million. It's just the Jags are like a clusterfuck, man. I don't even want to.
Yeah, that's tricky, man. But I think Foles can be still good.
The problem is. Yeah, that's the problem is our offensive line sucked. He needs a good offensive line. So, because our offensive line was non-existent, and he can't really run out of the pocket, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, we had no offensive line, so he would just get sacked. Yeah. Like, he never had any time to pass.
That's
and when he did have time, he wasn't in rhythm because he barely had time to practice. Well, you said you're in DC. You said you're in DC, right?
Yeah.
So you around all the Redskin crazy people?
Yeah, but there's so much going on in that area.
What, the Wizard?
A lot of people are Baltimore fans. A lot of people don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, that's why you're talking about Bradley Beal, right? Because the Wizards.
Well, not just because of that. Just that sticks out. Like when I realized he didn't make the All-Star game, and I saw how I knew he hadn't having a crazy season. That's just something I was thinking about.
So where in DC are you? Are you like where we were when we got really drunk that weekend? Are you like in the downtown area?
No, I'm outside. I'm actually outside. I just say DC. I'm outside of DC. I'm actually working in an area called Herndon.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like you. I was gonna text Shatonic. I'm be like, why don't you hit my boy? Because he's in DC too. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's in DC with that girl.
Dude, I have a question for you, man. About I have a question. So, if somebody starts a podcast, like, what advice would you give in terms of like?
Oh, I think what kind of advice would I give?
Yeah, like what to do, what not to do.
Okay, what to do is you try to get on iTunes as soon as possible because that's the key to a successful podcast is getting on iTunes because that's the number one podcatcher people do. Get on Apple.
Wait, what do you mean? Well, what do you mean? Don't you just upload it?
Well, yeah, but you have to. Yeah, you upload it, but they need a sample, Peter. They need a sample.
Oh.
You need to do an episode, and then you submit your episode to iTunes, and they review it. So you got to that's what I'm saying. You got to do an episode or two before you go on iTunes, so they have a sample. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
they just like list just to make sure. Like, how do they evaluate it?
They just make sure. I mean, I don't think it's too much of a screening process. They just do like make sure the title, make sure it's not like anything crazy, like any sort of too explicit. And if you're gonna cuss, like I do sometimes, you need to have the explicit warning.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you and Paul would cuss that much, maybe a little bit, but we would. Okay, then you do put explicit, but.
Okay, I was like, what?
No, but I said I don't know if you would or not because I don't know what the fuck you guys are gonna talk about.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Hey, if you guys have your own podcast, you better invite me, man, because
Of course.
I'll shoot the shit with you guys.
Definitely, man.
But get on. There's some cheap hosting sites. Try Anchor. And then you can. I'm not trying to plug the one I'm on, but Podbean's one of the cheapest ones too. I pay it's $108 for a whole year, but it's unlimited audio.
Okay.
Like some of them put a limit on how much you can use a month. Like Podbean doesn't.
Right. So, well, my skill set, I might just do my own host.
What? Have your own show?
I'm saying host it on my own site.
Oh, host on your own site. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I do like Podbean because they provide like statistics.
Oh, I see.
So they provide like statistics, and you can tell what state like people listen to it and what podcatcher they use. Just the data. Like it used to be where they did IP addresses, but then they stopped that. Like they used to give the person's IP address that listened to it. No shit.
Oh.
But then, like, security issues got involved, and they just stopped that. They stopped that.
Yeah, because I'm big on I do web design.
Yeah, so they stopped doing that. But now it's just state and or country, depending if it's out like Canada or something.
Okay. Are you trying to get to the point where you can have ads?
No, it'd be nice to I'm trying to sell some stickers and stuff, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I need to.
I can send you one if you want one. Shit.
You already sent me one.
I'll have to mail you one. Like,
yeah, shirts. That's what you need.
Shirts? No, I just have one. My buddy made me one.
Okay.
Like that's why I'm doing stickers. I mean, shit, I want to get your brother on.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do. We definitely all gonna do something, man. Me and him, we're gonna do something eventually.
I've been wanting to get him on the show for a while. Shit, I wanted to call him today. What do you mean? I said I wanted to call him right now. What do you mean? I'm just kidding. No, I know. I'm just busting chops.
But no, like I'm trying to figure this shit out, man.
But I'm glad, like,
I want to do it, you know.
Like real talk, man. I'm glad that we've been able to keep in touch, man. Like I don't talk to too many people. Like I miss Richmond, man. I had a really good time there. Like when you're in the moment, like you don't think about like how fun it was. But now that my life has turned into like super boring, it's like I remember the good times, but there were stupid times, like me getting like wasted. You know what I mean? Like it's like that was the last. I don't live like that anymore. Like that was like the last of my 20s, and I don't live like that anymore. I mean, I still drink, but it's like it's not nearly as much. Like you remember my 30th. You remember my birthday, man? When I got really 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 fucked up.
Yeah, you weren't that bad.
I was real bad, man.
I don't think you will.
And then my ex-girlfriend dumped me. Remember that? I know you remember that.
I remember when you got in a fight with her boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, cause a lot of good times, man. So what you been doing in DC, man? What do you do for fun up there? Do you know a lot of people or?
So no, I work like a lot of my coworkers. You know, a lot of them are it's a diverse group of people, let's say, and like we just do random shit. Like there's so many fucking breweries. And,
Yeah.
Little suburban little town has their little scene. So we just all try. It's real flexible work-wise. So like for lunch we'll go somewhere together, do some shit. After work we'll kind of hang out a little bit. But I work. Some of my hours are a little weird. So sometimes I don't do shit because it's like fuck it, man. You know, yeah. Sometimes I just kind of hang out and just really trying to figure out some things. There's some stuff I want to do.
Well, yeah, or well, you still got your girl, so you hang out with her quite a bit too. You don't bro down, you don't bro down as much.
Of course. So but that's the thing, man. It's so expensive. Like it's easy to just go out and spend a bunch of money anyway. So.
Yo, it's tax season too. Then your tax season. They expecting everyone to spend now.
That's true, but I mean.
You ain't gonna go out for St. Patrick's Day or nothing?
I might. I might be working too. I don't know.
When was the last time you were in Richmond?
Oh shit. I go pretty often, almost every weekend.
Oh, is that where she is?
Yeah, that's where you know.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was still in there, or if you guys finally moved in together in DC.
Sometime this summer.
Uh-huh. I'm waiting for that, dude. I'm waiting for that invite for the bachelor party. I've been waiting for it.
What's the bachelor party? I've had too many already. I don't need another one.
Shit. Well, I'll keep waiting for that invite then, Peter.
My life was a bachelor party. What the fuck?
I'll keep waiting then. I'll keep waiting.
Party, you'll be waiting forever, man.
Yeah, I don't think you know how many shots, I won't buy you as many shots as I used to, Peter.
Say that again?
I'm sorry, I had to go to the kitchen real quick. I said I won't buy you as many shots as I used to. like that strip club, good, what was it, Good Guys or something like that? Yeah, of course you don't remember. Of course. I bet your brother remembers that strip club. Remember when I got that Uber?
Oh, I do remember that.
When I got like the Uber, whatever it was, the XL or whatever it was.
I do remember that.
And that shit was funny, bro. I missed that time, man. But see, that's what it is, man. Like I tell people, like it's corny. Like sometimes when I've subbed like 7th grade, bro, like 8th grade, and like, and like I think they just think about it like I'm just a weird sub. But I tell them sometimes, I say memories is all you got, man. Like, and they look at me sideways, but it's true.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. It's hard to talk some of the younger.
No, but I'm saying at the end of the day when they're just waiting for the bell to ring and we're talking.
Oh yeah.
And they were asking me questions, and I'm like, yeah, man, just enjoy 8th grade while you're here, man. And they just look at me sideways, and which. I don't know about a lot. Sometimes.
Okay.
It depends on the school.
They don't pick on you,
What, for being short? No, not that bad. not as bad as you would think. Oh shit.
Teachers, man, y'all do guys' work, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are surprised that I'm a guy that I would, there's not a lot of guy teachers over here. I don't know about in DC, but there's not a lot of guy teachers.
Oh wait, you're a guy?
No, I said there's not a lot of guy teachers. That's what I was saying.
No, I'm saying I didn't know you were a guy.
Oh, fuck you, dude. Fuck you, bro. I'm gonna edit that one out. No, I know. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it in. I think.
No, I don't give it. When I'm on my podcast, I'm definitely gonna leave it in when I want to. I'm not gonna let you tell me that.
I mean, shit. Yeah, you'll be. But yeah, do Instagram, Twitter, all that for the podcast, bro.
Okay. How do you go about getting guests? Is it like just people you know?
Dude, no. Like some of it is I know, but sometimes I'll just private message them, give them the link to the podcast, and ask them if they were interested. Just message them.
Okay.
I like on Twitter or Instagram. Just leave them make it professional. Hey, blah 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 blah. Here's a link to our podcast. Let me. I would really appreciate if you considered.
Okay.
And then if it's like a subject, make sure it's professional. So.
About me professional, so I don't know.
Well, isn't DC the home of professionals?
Yeah, if they want to.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's so fucking expensive out there, man.
Oh yeah, how much is there a lot of good good restaurants? You check out all the restaurants?
Yeah, so there's too many restaurants to get fat, but yeah, there's definitely a lot in terms of that. Like, oh my gosh, but you gotta be careful because again, it is super expensive and everything. So I always try to be mindful of that. But not plenty of restaurants. Time, man. It's too expensive and too much fucking traffic.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, man. Fuck that. I don't want to.
We need to link up soon, bro.
Absolutely.
We need to. I know you've been saying that for a while, but we need to make it happen, bro. I don't know. You come down here. I come up there. I don't know. Hey, take your girl down to Atlanta, and I'll meet you there.
Nah, I would want to just come to Florida, man.
Oh, hey, come down to the Destin. Destin's a hot spot.
Okay, that'd be.
They got and Biloxi too. Biloxi's not too far. They got you can gamble there. They got a casino.
Biloxi, like Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd say
You're like, no, I'm good.
I'm good on that Mississippi.
No, but I'm just saying, you come to Destin though. Destin got some interesting clubs, man. Like I went to AJ's in Destin.
Yeah.
And there's for your birthday, like the bartender will whip you.
I'm good on that too, bro.
No, I'm serious. Like they put you to a chair, and it's not that bad, but it's funny. It's like a birthday shot. Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't know what she was doing because my buddy didn't tell me. He just wanted to surprise me.
Oh, okay. So you just was sitting there minding your business.
Yeah, and she starts taking your shirt off and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Nah, I'm not trying to. I don't need those type of problems.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, what else in sports you want to talk about, man? Is there what other sport do you guys watch? You been watching the XFL?
Fuck no. I saw like 2 games.
But there's a reason why he's in the XFL.
There's nothing exciting.
Well, they got that new. Yeah, they got those new rules. Yeah, they got the new rules where there's no extra point. You just go for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think about Tom Brady?
Okay, I have a lot to say about this. So, I don't know, man. Tom Brady, I think, he's about to be 43. Well, by the season starts, he's going to be late. I don't get it. Like, why would you leave New England,
I think it's a mutual. Yeah, I think it's a mutual thing, too. I don't think the Patriots wanted to commit. They just let him become a free agent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but even on their side, why would you not? Of course you can't commit. He's 43.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who are you going to sign then?
Their back. I hear their backup's not bad. I don't know who he is, but I hear their backup's not terrible.
What the fuck? Do you even know his name?
No, but and they could draft one, Peter. Like,
Rookies are terrible. Like, why would you want to go backwards, man? Whatever.
Do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's gonna resign?
No. Even that. No, what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying. You keep him and you draft somebody, and this year he plays, and that guy gets ready. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Like that, if that guy from Oregon slides,
Yeah, that guy's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, and where does he? And on his side, where does he go? Like what? I don't understand. Like, what?
Well, I hear Tom Brady may go to the Titans.
Yeah, it's Tom Brady, 6-time Super Bowl champ. Do you really go to the fucking Titans?
I hope not, but they made the playoffs. So I mean, they made the playoffs. So, but I wouldn't.
That'd be a waste, man.
Marcus Mariota was a waste.
Yeah, probably, but still, man. I don't like. I hope they don't try to do that thing where they're like, oh yeah.
And as a Jag fan, I would hate it because Tom Brady would tear us a new one again 2 times a year. But
What if he went to you guys?
No, we like Minshew for some reason. I'm a big Minshew guy, but like they're all in on him, so whatever. He's a 6th round pick, so. Yeah. All right, bro. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before you head out?
No, man. I'm definitely gonna hit you up about just a couple tips with the whole podcast thing. But...
You got a working title? You could call it the Bro Breakdown, bro. Call it the Bro Breakdown.
Nah, it's gonna be. We got the title and we thought about some stuff.
Oh, tell me the title. Give me the exclusive.
I'm not. No, I'll tell you later. I'm not gonna tell you on air.
You're not gonna tell me and 30, and you're not gonna tell me and 30 people.
30,000 of your audience.
No, 30 is the key word. 30. Literal.
We got a couple different names we're thinking about. So
no, I'm just messing with you. But
we're not really worried about the name. I'm just worried about.
Is it as catchy as Sensibly Cynical?
Probably not as catchy, but I think it's not as catchy probably, but I think it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're not experienced podcasters like yourself.
Well, yeah. Well, you probably do better than me success-wise. I'm just kidding. But
How long? Sorry, how long have you been doing?
Off and on, like 2 years.
Okay.
But like, I'm not even worried about like downloads or whatever. It's more just like a hobby.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, all right, man. I'll let you go. Tell Paul I said what's up, right?
Will do.
And
Man.
tell him he's next. I want him on the show.
Okay.
we'll get both of you guys on.
That's perfect, man. And we'll talk more about podcasting in general.
Yeah, we can do a podcast about podcasting. How about that?
All right, man.
All right, man. I'll holler at you later.
All right, later, Sean. Take it easy.
All right, thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
All right, peace. That was awesome to catch up with Peter. It's been a long time since I've talked to him. So, actually, since the first time he was on the show, back when Frank was hosting. Okay, up next is my interview with Fear Innes. This guy is awesome. Like I said, he is an amazing podcaster, and it's time to rock out. And with me on the line from FYFCast, Fear Innes. What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. I know we've been, this has been in the works for a while, so I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to finally get down to business here.
Yeah, I know. So explain the origins of FYFCast. I know you said it's been around for 7 years. Is that true?
We, like many of the shows that came out about 2013, pretty much all have Kevin Smith to thank. Yeah, he just, on Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, he would constantly just say, look, if I can do it, you can do it. And eventually we're like, fuck, man, maybe we can. Here we are.
Yeah, so where are you guys based out of?
Yeah, so we're out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, we just interviewed someone from there for the lacrosse podcast. Did you get did you see we posted that? Yeah, we actually interviewed someone that he was a former lacrosse player, like professional lacrosse player.
Oh, sweet. No, that's cool. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, well, him and his buddy are they're doing a podcast because they're interviewing, like they're doing from the angle of they're actually interviewing players. So.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I didn't know. Yeah, lacrosse is pretty big up there. Apparently, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's massive.
Mm-hmm. So how many of you guys are there? Is there 3 of you?
With the podcast, yeah, we've got 3 of us working. But we do have another show that's kind of on our network. It's Dopes on the Ropes, which is Smokezilla and Fearcast Jay, a couple of buddies of mine out of BC. And they got a wrestling podcast and
really
doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. They're starting to film or funding to film a documentary, so that's pretty cool.
Nice. Okay, so the studios, so it's like an umbrella thing, right? But you said a bunch of stuff going on under it.
Yeah, exactly. Like FYFC Studios is kind of the name that we do everything under, but we've got a couple of different projects on the go with regards to either podcasts or YouTube.
Sure.
We've got review videos, and me and another guy got something in the works for bringing like live music and like unsigned bands all over the world. So we're kind of working on some shit. There's a lot of cool stuff going on right now.
Yeah, are you a wrestling guy yourself?
No, I haven't watched wrestling since like the Stone Cold Raw.
Yeah.
After that, man, I've just kind of moved over to UFC, and that's about it.
Oh, you're a big UFC guy, or just casually?
Kind of casually. I've just recently started to get back into it.
Yeah, so you saw
like I just watched the one that just went by. That was interesting.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy earlier. He said the same thing. He thought it was interesting the way it ended. You know,
girls fucking were insane. They brought everything, man. It was one of the best fights, period. Let alone just probably the best female fight in MMA history, but definitely one of the best fights in history. And then yeah, fucking Romero and Dick Nuts came out and did everything and fucking walked around for 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, I didn't get a chance to catch it. So, who won the 2 fights that you were talking about? The 2 major ones.
Both champ ended up keeping the belt. I'm gonna pull it up quick because their names are really hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I just got into. I'm a big John Bones Jones guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he kind of.
I really liked him when he first came out, and then I don't know, he kind of became a cocky douche and had trouble with the law and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly the dude's still one of the best, or if not the best, to walk in the ring. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the women's strawweight title was between Weili Zhang and Johanna. I always fucking butcher her last name. Jedrzejczyk?
I don't know.
Either way, it was bombs from the time it started. They were just throwing.
Really?
And they fought the entire time.
Yeah. Wow.
Joanna's face looked like Megamind. Like, it's ridiculous. Her forehead was swollen like 2 feet out. Like, it was ridiculous.
Ain't that some shit? Yeah.
And then, yeah, the middleweight title bout was Yoel Romero and Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah.
They just fucked around, though.
Oh, was it? Oh, a bunch of were they wrestlers or like mat? Were they on the mat a lot?
Both no. See, the thing is, they're both wrestlers, but they both kind of wanted to strike with each other.
Oh.
They ended up not doing a whole lot of anything.
Oh, so they were just fucking around. Yeah. Were they going for like an endurance strategy, or is it just, or like were they stalling for time?
Honestly, I don't know. And then after it was done, like Israel was like, I did what I had to do, which was fucking nothing. And then Yoel took a weird stance on it where he started saying, like, I come here to fight and not this, and people pay to watch us fight, not watch this, and I'm like, then you should have took his fucking head off, man. You can't complain. But yeah, like there was a total of altogether 88 strikes in that fight, and then I think there was well over 300 for the women's fight.
Wow.
Yeah, like they were just going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joanna threw 196 strikes.
Jesus.
And Zhang threw 170.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the dudes 1 through 48.
So you said you watched it, or you just kept?
No, I watched.
Oh, you watched it. Did you have a bunch of people over, or was it just?
Yeah, we usually have a couple people over just to come hang.
Just have a drink or two.
Yeah, usually pass the bong around. You know how we do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, true. I'm not much into that, but I used to hotbox, you know. But
Nice.
who didn't hotbox?
Oh yeah, that's just something you do for sure.
That's like nothing. That's like little kid stuff. But I did that in high school, man. Like, funny story. I think I've said this on the podcast before. But funny story, we actually had a group of 5 of us, bro. And because there are five school days, so we picked 5. Each day, the designated person would let us all in going into second period. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one guy would let us in Monday, next guy Tuesday, and we'd time it perfectly where we'd go to McDonald's, get lit, and then he'd open the door.
That's awesome.
And we would time it perfectly where, because it was downstairs, we'd go down, there's a stairway and staircase, and we would time it perfectly, and he would just open the door for us all, and and it's a cluster because everyone's changing classes.
Yeah.
And he would just open the door, and the only thing was we'd have to get by the security. It's not like it is now where security is crazy.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, you could get away with that more.
Oh yeah, man. We used to be able to do whatever the hell we wanted.
Yeah.
Everything's locked down.
Now they lock it all down. But I mean, it was locked, but like if you wanted to go to McDonald's for the first period, then it's easier to pull. It was real easy to pull it off, So good times, man. So I know we were talking about rock music. What's your what kind of music are you in? Are you into like the classic, current rock, emo, gothic? Like, what's your type?
I'm kind of all over. Lately I've been listening to kind of a lot of deathcore and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I love listening to like old grunge tunes or even classic
right,
rock.
like that star the song "Stars" by Hum. That's my favorite song, dude. So you said you were kind of bullish on it. I mean, I'm like, how can you not like that shit? Like, that shit's so awesome.
Yeah, it was good, man. But like, there was so many bands that
they got lost. They were a one-hit wonder band.
That ended up getting lost.
Yeah, they were a one-hit wonder band. Well, that was the one hit, But like, if you look at their second album, "Downward Is Heavenward" by Hum, that's considered one of the best albums of that decade. But the problem was they didn't have one hit there, so the label dropped them. Because it was like 8 or 10 songs that were all great. They were all great. Well, the problem, they were like all average to above average. So it's like a basketball team where you have no star. But all together, that's awesome. But the label was like, I forgot the label, but the label they were on was like, yeah, this is great. We let you do your things because stars is what made them huge. So they're like, all right, cool. We got their first album. You prefer an astronaut. We're going to let you do your thing for the second one. And they were like, yeah, this is great, but where's your single? Is there a lot of bands like that? Was there a lot of bands like that in the 90s?
Yeah, I think it was a combination. There was a lot of bands that had only a single, and they didn't. The rest of you go back and you listen to like Heartbeat, Danger, and shit like that. And Flagpole said it was the only thing that was worth listening to.
Yeah,
there were so many albums that I bought in the '90s, like late '90s, early 2000s,
right,
that literally only had one song.
Yeah, like I just sometimes I'll keep like old albums. Sometimes I'll listen to, I don't know if you remember the band Sunny Day Real Estate.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yeah,
I listen.
But I do remember them. I remember.
Yeah, I listened to their old. I have their Diary album. It's like one of the best ones they had. And the song, I don't know if you've heard the song "In Circles," but you gotta listen to that one. I still listen to shit like that, And of course, everyone listened to I was big into Weezer, but who wasn't?
Yeah, Weezer was huge.
What do you think about them in the Hall of Fame? It was a I don't know if they're in yet, but they're up for debate. with it. What do you think about that? Do you think they should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Weezer?
I mean, it's tough because Weezer's decent. I've never been a giant Weezer fan. I've more been on like the heavier side of rock, but I mean, I still listen to a ton of Weezer, like Buddy Holly, shit like that.
But Hall of Fame, that's another thing.
The shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was telling. Yeah, I was all.
What's the controversy? Just they don't.
Well, some people are debating. It's I don't know if you're much of a sports guy. But, like, it's similar to the analogy. I'm a big sports guy, so that's why I'm using these analogies. I'm sorry if if you're not into those, analogies. But the analogy I use for things is similar to the one I said about the album is, well, the controversy with sports is players that are around for 14 years, they make 2 All-Star games, but their stats accumulate where they're in the top 20. And then the debate is, well, do you credit a guy that was never the best at his position but was above average for 14 years? Do you let them in, or do you say, hey, where's your, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with Weezer is longevity, I think, is what I think will get them in.
Yeah, I can kind of see that because they have like maybe 1 hit per album, other than their first hit or first album that had a bunch of hits, but. Yeah, based on longevity compared to other bands that came out at that time, I guess I could see, well, they're still out there making music, so they kind of deserve it over others, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up on rock music, bro. Like when I was 16, like me and my buddies, we would play quarters and then we'd play quarters and then we'd go to like an outdoor like concert. I don't know if you heard of Earth Day Birthday. It's a big concert in Orlando. Like huge.
No, I haven't heard.
Like but they would lay out. They would basically play like an old like football stadium. They play it all in that. They'd have a huge like where people tailgate, like huge, and they would set up shop there. And we're talking about like Kid Rock, Papa Roach, Shinedown, Stained, shit like that. And they would just do, all day. You're familiar with all day, the weekend concerts or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I saw Ozfest in 2001.
Okay.
In the Docks in Toronto, and it was fucking insane.
Yeah. So what's
Sabbath, Manson, Rob Zombie, Mudvayne.
Yeah, I saw Mudvayne. Yeah. Have you heard this? Did you get a chance to check out Disturbed when they were going big?
Yeah, actually, I saw them they were at Ozfest as well.
Yeah, I saw Disturbed as well. That's my first concert. I saw them when I was 16.
That's awesome.
Did the mosh pit and everything. Yeah,
it's fucking cool. Man.
I thought I was the coolest kid in school, but in reality, I was one of the didn't have a class classification of student. I just hung out with a bunch of people like that weren't popular.
It's the same way. Like I didn't really hang out with the jocks or anything like that. I just kind of did my own thing. But I always kind of just had people hanging around.
You're right. And what if it wasn't for my brother was a couple years older than me. And if it wasn't for him being like one of the most popular kids in school, I would have been like more picked on than I was. But like since people knew who my brother was, they were kind of easier on me. But I was just kind of that person where you're not a nerd, you're not getting picked on. I was just, sometimes in schools there's these people like that are in the middle that are just like no one hates them, no one likes them either. Like they're just there.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I hung out, and like it was funny. I always called us the unwanted. and back in the day, I was in.
Well, I don't know. How old are you?
High school.
Well, how old are you? We're probably around the same age, right? I would assume.
Yeah, I think we figured out we're like 2 years apart or so.
Yeah, I just turned 33. So yeah. So I graduated.
Yeah, so it's not too shabby, man. It's all around the same sort of time.
Yeah, everyone getting fucked up and shit. Did you hear about the whole thing with Burning Man? Have you ever been to Burning Man or no? Ever heard of it?
I've definitely heard of Burning Man, but I haven't heard anything about it this year. Why? What's going on?
Well, they're some people are pissed off because they big businesses are getting involved and kind of ruining the myth. Like not the myth, but the you know what I'm trying to say. They're messing with the formula that brought it to the dance.
Yeah, the reason that it came to fruition. Yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be where people would get like fucked up, like you know, salvia and shit, like pass it around. No, for real. You think I'm kidding? Like, no, for real. Like, and then now they're cracking things. I didn't know if you heard about that or got into it. My buddy got into it one time. He told me we were living in Virginia, and he was like, it's in. He was like, yeah, I'm going to Burning Man. I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck it was, you know. And he's like, he's about to spend like $200 for a tent. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I got one sitting right there. And he's like, are you sure? Because you never, you know, because people have like, sometimes people have like, they'll just have orgies in the tent. Like, for real. No, for real. And then,
if you're all fucked up on that shit, yeah, you can start touching people.
like, I told him, I said, I don't give a fuck. At least, you know, spray some Lysol on it at the end of the week. Like,
just clean up all the simoon, yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to go in her or on her, not on the tent. Yeah, in her or on her, but not on the tent. Like,
Exactly.
and I didn't know what he was doing, so it could have been a him. I don't know. But like I never got into that with him, you know. But like, if you had a Mount Rushmore of bands, who would be on it?
Shit.
Are we talking about like Ozzy? Are we talking about Ozzy Osbourne type shit?
Have to be on there. Fuck. I guess just bands that I super super love. I would definitely have to have Ozzy on there. Normally, Slipknot maybe. The new albums aren't that great.
Yeah.
But I listen to the shit out of Iowa and their
for real?
self-titled. Alice in Chains. I definitely put them on there.
Kiss. You know.
Yeah. And maybe Hatebreed. Hatebreed I've seen a few times. They're one of my favorite hardcore bands.
Yeah.
I'd probably throw them on there.
Yeah, what do you think about the like the current rock scene? Who's one of your favorite current, like the ones that are real current right now? Who do you got that are you into?
I think the most current stuff that I've been listening to that's kind of, I guess more people would recognize is like Killswitch Engage.
Yeah, I saw them. I saw them live.
Oh yeah, I sort of saw them live.
Oh, dude,
they opened for Slipknot, and unfortunately Howard, who was their singer at the time, was under the weather. So they ended up having another guy do the vocals, and then actually they had a guy come out of the crowd and do the vocals for a bit. Yeah, dude, it was cool. Like, Killswitch and Rise Against played together. Oh yeah.
And I could have swore that Killswitch Engage would have been the headliner. No, it was Rise Against.
Oh wow. Yeah, I can definitely see them.
They actually, but they promoted it as like a dual, you know, kind of a dual main event thing, you know.
Yeah.
But Rise, I mean, to me, it's whoever goes. Like it's like I know you say you're not a wrestling guy or whatever, but they would understand. There's co-main events. No, there's only one fucking main event. You know, same thing in music. It's like no, there's co. It's like no, motherfucker. It's whoever goes on last. Last is last. Like.
Exactly. You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like when people like back in the day. It's like, oh yeah, you main evented like WrestleMania. No, were you fucking last? No, well then you didn't fucking main event it. It's like you know,
for sure.
It's like you know concerts and shit. It's like you know I saw some good shit though. Like when I was in Virginia, like I saw what was the other one I saw? Kind of an underground kind of thing. Not really underground, but Asking Alexandria.
Oh yeah, no, I like those guys.
Yeah, I saw them. They were with who was the headliner with them? I think it was Asking Alexandria, and then Both Her Valentine was the headliner.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
They were my dude. Both Her Valentine has one of my favorite songs in it. Like my favorite song of all time. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier, but my probably my second or third is probably Tears Don't Fall. It's up there.
That's a great tune.
It is. So I got a good top 5. Like Deftones is also up there. They have a Diamond Eyes is one of them. It's kind of a song that's not really super like popular. Not popular, but mainstream. But I don't know if you heard that song. But
yeah, I was a big Deftones fan, especially with Around the Fur.
Yeah.
And the like the White Pony and
Is it? I forgot what Diamond Eyes. What album is Diamond Eyes on? Do you know?
I can't remember, but I think there's an owl on the cover.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or Hexa. I don't know.
Sorry to.
I got into their latest shit too much, just because they're so much more mellow.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. I think Chino's voice works for both. Because he did a song called Razors Out for the Raid soundtrack that was really fucking good. And I do like crosses, like Bermuda Locket, shit like that. If you haven't checked that out, check that out, because that's Chino and it's super mellow and it's just him kind of singing. But if I'm looking for Deftones, like, I want to hear Lotion, I want to hear My Own Summer.
yeah, the good shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to cut you off with that earlier. So what we're talking about like, you said you were seeing, so it was like Killswitch Engaged and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I like Killswitch. Some of the other new bands that I really enjoy, like Ice Nine Kills. I don't know if you listen to
Oh
those
no,
guys.
I never heard of them. Are they what kind? Are they like real hard?
Yeah, they're
Screamo?
like metalcore sort of thing. Their latest album's called The Silver Scream. It just came out last year, and each song is based on a different movie franchise, horror related.
Okay, so I got a
question.
I got a question. I got a question for you. What made you get into the? I know some people like what made you get into like the death, like hardcore stuff? What, like, is there a certain thing you just got into it when you were a kid, or what was the origin of that? Like, how did you start getting into that? You just heard it one day and was like, "That's my shit."
I don't know. For myself, it's been progressive. So like, growing up, I listened to a lot of classic rock.
Like we all did.
Like one of the first albums I ever bought was classic. And then I think the second one I bought was Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. And so that was kind of my area, like Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the buddy I knew at the time brought over Astro Creep 2000 from White Zombie.
Oh, shit.
It was like, you got to check this out. And I was like, oh, shit. So I listened to it, and so it's heavier, but the vocals aren't, like, fully screaming or anything, so it's just kind of progressive. And then I started listening to, like, bands like Korn and Deftones and then Slipknot, and then you just start progressively getting heavier and heavier. And, and then you're listening to stuff like Anal Blast and all kinds of fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. So tell me about the diversity of, let's go back to your podcast. So what kind of stuff do you guys, what's the range of topics that you guys talk about? Is there like a wide range of stuff? I know you said about the umbrella earlier, but I'm talking about like the main, like the three of you, like the main podcast. Would you guys jump around stuff?
For FYFCast,
yeah, FYFCast.
My wife, MDI, and her brother, Razor, my brother-in-law. And yeah, we get together, I'd like to say each week, but we're pretty lackadaisy without putting out content, but we get together and we sit down and we kind of talk about things that happen throughout the week, whether it's personal stories or news. So we just pick random pop culture topics and we shoot the shit. So it's kind of like a morning show, just with a lot more dick talk. And,
right.
And then I also do another show called FYFCast, which is just kind of my own thing. And that's where everything that's horror, metal, MMA, all that stuff kind of gets put over there.
Right. So everyone brings in like a different personality. Is that what you're saying? Like each person has like, so how does your creative process work? Like, does each of you guys pitch in ideas?
For the podcast?
Yeah. Like, how do you decide what you guys are going to talk about? Is it just like a free for all?
Depends. Like, it depends kind of what we're doing. Like, usually what we do is throughout the week, we say just any news things, anything that comes up that you want to talk about, make a note in your phone. And then kind of like an hour or a half hour before the show, we'll sit down and we'll kind of go over each thing. And then it all depends on how we want to put it together. And 9 times out of 10, even the shit that we bring to the table doesn't always end up being the stuff we end up talking about. There's always so many tangents that by the time you're done, you're like, well, shit, we didn't talk about this stuff. So. Same thing with the podcast. Yeah. Like I've been doing it by myself for a while. And the thing about, like I was telling my buddy Peter earlier, was it's a lot different by yourself than with, you guys have the benefit of leaning on other people. I've sure learned a lot by doing it by myself without Frank. You know, it's much harder. I have to go for the title. Like, that's why I did, lacrosse didn't really, I had a picture of lacrosse doing, I don't know why, my warped mind, I thought lacrosse would draw people in. I thought that the word lacrosse would be like interesting, but apparently it's not, so downloads haven't been good. But sometimes you hit or you miss. You know, I thought that lacrosse would be lacrosse I thought would be so out of left field that it would, you know how it's so bad that it's good? Yeah.
Like, I thought that it would be one of those where, lacrosse, it should be interesting. No. The Grand Theft Auto was a hit, though.
Yeah.
I recommend checking that out. I don't know if you're a big GTA guy back in the day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, totally.
Definitely check that out, Fear. It works because the guest I had on was kind of a similar age, and that was his game he played like 100 times, 100,000 times, and like Resident Evil 2 was his other game.
Oh yeah, I think I played Resident Evil 2 back in the day. It was pretty wild, man.
I never got into it.
Nothing like now. I remember I played. I think it was 7
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. They allowed you to download like the sneak peek trailer or whatever that you could kind of play through, and that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It was all just jump scares and things coming up behind you, and I'm like, who the fuck can play this game without trying to fucking have a panic attack?
Yeah. What was your game of choice back in the day?
Way back in the day, like if we're going way back in the day.
No, like Fear, like the 90s, bro.
Like, well, Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat were huge in the arcade.
Yeah, I was a big Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah, and like, so I was that kid that would go in and just smoke all the adult and walk out
with like Liu Kang.
Were
you a big Liu Kang guy? Scorpion?
No, Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
I was into that. Who was that chick that had like 6 different arms?
Probably Shiva?
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
They just announced there's a Mortal Kombat cartoon coming out.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a straight-to-video coming out, I think, April.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. They just launched the Red Band trailer for it. I just actually watched it just before coming on, and it's fucking awesome. Because it's cartoon, but there's swearing, there's fatalities, there's guts and blood galore.
Yeah,
so it should be pretty interesting.
Before we continue, I want to thank you for coming on a little earlier. I know we kind of put this a little earlier than we planned, so I appreciate it, changing your schedule.
Yeah, man, anytime.
Well, I know I've been wondering, how long has this been in the making? It's been in the making for a long time, right?
Oh, definitely a few months, yeah, maybe even longer.
So I don't know who added each other. Did I add you on Instagram? I don't know, but I know we've been.
Yeah,
I know we've been on Instagram quite a bit. So how has that changed, like your podcast, like with the whole social media thing? Like you use Instagram a lot?
I do. I find Instagram works well personally. I don't know if I get a ton of shit off of it in regards to the podcast or not. I know. I think most of our stuff comes through either just direct downloads or like Facebook and Twitter. But it's funny because when we first started, I had never used Twitter before, and everybody I talked to was like, Twitter's dead, don't worry about it, just do Facebook. So I was like, okay. So I think for like the first year that we had our show, we didn't even have Twitter or anything. We just went through Facebook, and then we didn't actually take off until I found out, one, Twitter's not dead, and it's actually got a lot more shit to it. So we started using Twitter, and that's kind of where we really started to blow up.
Is this like a business, or are you guys at the hobby stage?
It's a little bit of both. It all depends on how much work I put into it, to be honest.
Right, we're at the hobby stage, of course, but I didn't know how.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, like we've made quite a bit of money doing it. All depends. Like we'll get sponsors here and there.
Really?
I'll just let them go. Like it's, I don't know. It's funny.
And obviously, this isn't your only. You have a day job, I would assume.
Yeah, well, normally I do. Right now, I'm just kind of chilling at home. So now I'm kind of putting the pressure on a little bit and working on a couple of different projects. I've just started kind of writing a graphic novel that may or may not ever see the light of day. But I figured, what other time will I have to just kind of relax at home a little bit and write some shit?
Yeah. So, So what other kind of hobbies do you have? What else do you do like on your downtime? What other stuff are you into?
I'm like a big fan of movies and music, that sort of thing. So if I'm not listening to movies or listening to music or watching movies, I'm probably playing Call of Duty.
Oh, big COD. So
yeah.
I used to play that back in the day when I was like 15. Like
yeah, man. Like I played when like COD 4, World at War, that sort of thing.
I remember the first. You remember the first like when Halo came out too? Kind of was like a rival.
Yeah. I remember Halo. I never really got into Halo, but a lot of people did.
Me and my buddy, we used to have Halo parties. Is what we called them.
Nice. That's awesome.
Where we would just multiplayer and we'd go on like 12-hour parties. We'd leave school or whenever school would get out. We'd go to my buddy's house. And of course, we wouldn't drink anything illegal here, of course.
Of course. No,
I can't frown upon drinking like that, but it was normal drinking like Coke and not the other kind of Coke, but
of course.
the legal Coke. But no, this shit was awesome though. So what do you think about how the evolution of games, like with Fortnite and stuff? Like, what's your thought on that? The kids playing it?
Yeah, like I've got a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, and both of them, like with my daughter who's 14, she plays Apex, and my son plays Fortnite, and both of them can kick my ass on both of them. But when it comes to Call of Duty, Dad's still king.
Yeah.
But like you said, the evolution of gaming, I think Call of Duty was at the forefront for a lot of it for a while, and then it just kind of lost its way. And then that's where you get things like Fortnite and PUBG.
Well, Fortnite's
and the Battle Royale system.
Yeah, Fortnite's a really like dumbed down version of,
It kind of is, but I don't play Fortnite as much.
I've never played it,
you
so.
would call it. But now we're into season 2 or whatever. I really haven't played it too much since then.
All the kids with like the dances and stuff.
Yeah, but I got into it for a bit because I wanted to have a reason to play with my kid.
Right.
So I had to learn. I still can't build that well.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I'm like, look, man, if you protect me, because he can build he plays keyboard and mouse and just goes crazy.
Really?
I'm like, as long as if you build me a castle, I can murder people, but I don't ask me to build. I just can't. So then, and then actually just today they announced Warzone is going to get released tomorrow.
Really?
And that's the new free-to-play battle royale.
We're recording this on March 9th, so yeah.
So you got all that shit dropping, so it's going to be pretty sick, man. I know what I'm doing all day tomorrow.
Well, what kind of movies are you into?
Mostly horror, but I'll watch a little bit of anything.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I finally got around to watching It Chapter 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I was watching the original one with this girl that I just met, and shit didn't work out, so I never finished the film. Yeah, so it's like,
and I liked the original miniseries. So I was a little concerned when back in 2017 when they brought out the first It movie, and you know what, I really liked it. And then they just brought out the one last year, and I finally got around to. I sat down with my kids, we watched it, and it's like 3 hours long, so it's pretty fucking long, but I'm blown away by it. So the next FYFCast is going to be me talking about it, but I just can't believe how well, there were several times the three of us kind of had a sob in our throat or teared up, and I'm like, this is a fucking horror movie. Like, why the hell am I so emotional about it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the writing and the acting is so well done that you believe these people.
You got
and the feelings that they're having.
So do you guys have Netflix? You guys review Netflix movies or see those?
Yes, to both. We've got Netflix, and I used to do a bunch of written sort of movie reviews on our site, and now I'm just kind of moving over into like the video section, just because video is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So a couple of the reviews I've got coming out are the Hills Have Eyes, the 2006 remake. I just rewatched that, so I'm going to be shooting a review on that shortly. And I've got a couple other ones like Horns, which is an interesting movie. So there's a few that are going to come out, but that's something that's super fun. I just love watching movies and talking about.
Yeah. So, were you into are you into the slasher films, kind of like Freddy vs. Jason?
Oh yeah. That's my wheelhouse, man. I love
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm. My boy, Leatherface, what up?
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I feel like it has such potential.
Yeah.
But it just has never been done justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original was pretty fucking scary when it came out in the 70s.
Yeah, back in the day.
But now it's like they have all these great ideas. I think 2 years ago they came out with like an origin story, and they fucking fucked it up real bad. I slandered that movie across the internet so bad because I was so pissed off that I would love an origin story about the Sawyer family that actually made sense. Instead, they just fucking made a fluff piece to put it out, probably just to keep the fucking name. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, because like I love Freddy and Jason and all this stuff.
Right.
I don't know what it is. There's something about Leatherface that I just love that dude. And I want to see him like have his moment in the sun a little more than he's got.
Did you ever see the Purge?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watched all the movies and the TV series.
Yeah, I dressed up as what was the character? The one with like the what was it? The Purge, but it was like the American mask.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had that for Halloween one year.
Nice. Yeah, that's good and creepy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just had like a street. I didn't know what else to put with it, so I just had like one of those like leather jackets.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you're just going out to purge.
It's the easiest, and we were all getting fucked up at a party, no ways. So.
You know. On that, man, like Purge is one of those series that it's turned into something really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've made this mythos and kind of gone through the stages of how the government could have possibly done this.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's some real franchise thinking shit that a lot of horror people just don't think about.
Yeah. No shit, man. So you got anything else on your mind? Like, what do you guys got going on soon? Like, anything to promote or?
Tomorrow we get to sit down on FYFCast. We're having Canadian musical legend Biff Naked on. So
sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. What do you guys? What's your guys' social media handles? So, what are those?
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you like the stuff that we do, go over to www.FYFCstudios.com. It's got links to everything. We're on every social media, so just look up at FYFC Studios, and if you reach out, you're talking to me, because I run all that shit.
All right, Fear, appreciate you coming on tonight.
Fuck yeah, man.
I'm glad we finally got it done, so much appreciated.
Anytime, man.
We'll have to get the whole crew on next time.
Yeah, we'll see. The other two are hermits, man. They don't do anything. They make me do all this shit.
Oh, all the other shit. All right, bro. You stay warm up there, okay?
Fuck yeah, man. I got all the cannabis in the world to keep me warm.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
Right, see you, man.
All right, later. And there you have it. 2 back-to-back interviews on Sensibly Cynical. Both were awesome, and I want to thank you for listening today. Okay, if you could please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, I would highly appreciate it. Also, check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly, Instagram Sensibly Cynical Pod, and you can check out our Facebook group. Take care.